We enter the final third of the season, and if you only look at the wins columns, you'll think to yourself, well, this is uneventful. However, this season has been anything but. Francois Martel might not have won last week in Bark River, but after a chaotic race, he gained a further 7 points on Alex Abedi in the Drivers' Championship. It's back to a sense of normality this week before the final Endurance Cup next week. Who will come out victorious in the cornfields of Iowa? We'll find out together tonight. The Iowa Grand Prix is next. We are not racing NASA Rallycross lights, but our venue for this evening is the virtual Iowa Speedway. Opened in 2006, North American Simulated Auto Racing started visiting this circuit in 2018B. At 0.66 miles in length and 9 corners, 2 to the right and 7 to the left, the lap begins with the tabletop jump before the double apex turns 1 and 2. Joker decision on driver's right on the exit of this corner cuts 11 seconds off the lap time and gives you plenty of speed in the penultimate corner. Through 3, through 4, don't go to the left of the paint there, into turn number 5. Quick shot down into turn number 6 and back out onto the oval as that turn 6, one of the tightest corners in NASA Rallycross history. Numerous lines. You can run the apron, run the banking, whatever you'd want to do. Hard braking down to turn 8, left-hander, turn 9 flat out over the jump to complete a lap here in Iowa. Our format for NASA Rallycross is as follows. 19 cars will be split into 4 heat races, 6 laps apiece, Joker lap once. The top 2 will transfer to the feature. Winner gets 3 bonus points, and the runner-up gets 2. The rest of our competitors will be funneled into the semifinals, 5-lap races, Joker lap once. Those winners will also receive 1 bonus point. This sets the grid for the 10-car, 10-lap feature race where the points are rewarded and trophies are handed out. Unique to NASA Rallycross, 2 Jokers are taken during the feature. The 28th season of the Overwatch specialty service NASA Rallycross Challenge continues tonight live on the Automotive Sports Network. With Bryan, Sawyer on the production truck, 2-time series champion Cody Erdmann down in the studio, and 5-time series champion Philip Kraus next to me in the commentary box, my name is Josh Mertz as we welcome you to the Iowa Grand Prix. Our series is brought to you by Overwatch Specialty Service. The only thing more unique than your problem is our solution, and for more information, visit osscenter.com. Thank you so much to Rob Hartland for your continued support of NASA Sim Racing. Our coverage all season on ASN is also brought to you by NordVPN, your gateway to online freedom and security. Protect your digital privacy with military-grade encryption, browse the web anonymously, and access your favorite content from anywhere in the world. You can receive 63% off a 2-year plan at nordvpn.com/ASNTVUSA. Also, our cameras for the entire season are provided by TrackCams22.com. And finally, our intro music was produced by our very own Alex Abedi. Good evening to you, Mr. Philip Kraus. Points gap lengthened after next week. I'm going to keep it simple. We have 9 points between the top 2, 3 rounds left. How are you, and what are your thoughts?
I'm doing pretty good, Josh, and I'm not sure what to think for the remainder of the season. We're coming into crunch time. It's the end of the season, round 8. Only 3 rounds to go, including tonight's race, but I'm pretty sure Alex Abedi isn't here right now, Josh. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
He
so
is.
That's gonna...
So he did connect during our intro piece. So Alex
All right, I was going to
here.
say, if he didn't connect, that changes almost everything. But since he is here, 9-point gap, it's going to be a bit of a fight. We've seen Francois be stronger on the Rallycross track, so I imagine he will be looking to gain some points here today, Josh.
Thank you, Phil. We throw it to the third member of our broadcast team, 2016A and 2017A champion Cody Erdmann. Cody, I asked you this last week with Matty Grove's point gap. He's got 26 points over Benjamin Gay, even with that bad race last week in Bark River. Thoughts on the Sportsman Cup as we enter the last third of the championship?
Yeah, as we are currently missing Benjamin Gay.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, originally we thought it was going to be Alex Abedi. He must have got lost in the corn on the way to the track. But then he just busted out the fastest lap time with a 35.9 here in warm-up. So, but yeah, no Benjamin Gay. So I think all is to normal for Matt Grove. Just run his own race and try to score his maximum points in the Sportsman Cup. Don't worry really about the overall.
We might see. I'm already interrupting you. We might see the Sportsman Cup clinch tonight. As we take a look at the points coming into Iowa, we're going to start with that Sportsman Cup. Matty Groves got 142. No Benjamin Gay. No Matthew Morris. Cody Winecki, who won overall and in Sportsman last week, he's 31 points down. If Grove leaves Iowa, quick math, 28 by 2 is 46. If he leaves with more than that,
56.
I don't know how to do math. He locks up the championship. So that's interesting. I didn't realize that Benjamin wasn't here until just now, so that's something we got to keep an eye on. I promise I know how to do math when it's not a spreadsheet in front of my face. But Francois Martel, 148. Alex Abetti, 139. And I'll tell you, the battle for third here, Ragster, 111. Hartley, 109. McFarland, 102. That's going to be a nice scrap for the third place on the podium there, gents.
Yeah, and with Evan McFarland having so much bad luck this season, to see him fighting for third in the overall standings is honestly quite impressive. I think he has pace for more than that, but he just hasn't had the luck on his side, Josh.
As the Constructors' Championship coming into the 8th round in Iowa, Pudgy's Racing 262, KES 145, Slapex 142, and JC Simsport 126. Expect KES to fall down the order, not wishing bad luck on McFarland, but Robbie Larill has some real-life duties. He got dragged to dinner with his wife. Drag's probably the wrong word, depending on what side of the coin you're at with that one, but KES only one car, while Slapex has all three. So the battle for second in that Constructors' Championship looking spicy as well, guys. So real quick, manufacturers, Subaru 176, Ford with 165. We begin qualifying, and I believe we are looking at Clog in the 199, the man from Maryland, as he sits in 7th, the defending champion. He did not race last week in Bark River, and it doesn't look like he's going to take his lap. He gets the warm-up. Now he begins to go. So I noticed that yesterday. You think that you start your run right as you exit the pit lane. You don't. So you get that extra warm-up lap. Like I said, Joker on driver's left to the driver's right, I should say, left of the picture there, cuts a decent amount of track away from you. And that's going to be an interesting merge because there's numerous lines you can take down here to turn 6. You can hug the tires and run the apron, or I don't really know why you would, but you can run way up onto the oval. So we might expect some contact, although the lights race yesterday, no spoilers, it was fairly clean. Alex Abetti, 36.148, fastest man of all. He is, wow, a 10th and a half faster than Martel, Phil.
Yeah, and that's what he needs. We thought he was going to grow his lead over Francois in the Endurance Cup round, but he ended up having a speeding penalty and ended up losing points overall to Francois Martel. So to see him taking advantage on a proper Rallycross track to be right on board with Alex Abetti now, looks like he's on a bit of a cooldown lap. It's impressive from him.
As the tie driver, second in points. He won, I really should know this, he won in Daytona, and I think that's his only win this season because it's Francois for the rest of the races, and then it was Cody Winecki, as he won in Daytona and he won in Brands Hatch. So, Abetti crosses the line. That was his slowdown lap. 2 wins on the season. Looks like Martel might be done with his qualifying run in the 12, so I don't think we'll see Martel. He's going to complete his run, so he is over. That battle for pole, a little bit subdued here, guys.
Yeah, definitely. There was only 2 cars involved in it. It looked like Alex Abetti was in control from the start to the end of the session, Josh. But, you know, one thing we haven't mentioned, going from an off-road track to a rallycross track. This probably isn't the rallycross track people wanted to go to after the truck track, because it's a bit of a bull ring, as Evan McFarland, just jumps to second on a 36.194.
As I'll roast myself on the public feed. Cody said, Matthew Morris is here. He's in 4th. And then I said, no, what are you talking about? He's not here. And then I realized that was like 3 minutes ago. So I know how to read. That's the second time tonight. Words are hard. As we're taking a look at Robbie Kirtley in the 024. I can't get over how beautiful this car is for Zeem Setup Shop. He crosses the line, 37.896. And he will slot in 15th.
Sorry, you know what it kind of reminds me of, Josh?
What is that?
Rexy from the IMSA series, just because of the color. It'd be cool if we had like an animal-themed car on the NASA grid, though. I've always loved that Rexy car.
I wish I knew what you were talking about, but I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a Porsche 911 GT3 that runs in IMSA, and it ran in WEC for the Le Mans 24. It's like, it's got a T-Rex on the front, and it's got little arms on the side. It's really cute.
He's going to have 1 lap to try and improve this lap time. I think that's the second time I've cut you off, Cody, so go ahead.
No, I was just going to make a joke. Like, if we all went to Road America, we would have sucked.
Yeah, we were, don't let us plan anything. All 4 of us were supposed to go, and that never happened, so. Looks like qualifying done and dusted. We still got 30 seconds, but Clog's on track. Kirtley's on track, but Clog's done with his run, so Betty, McFarlane, Martell, Ragster, those are going to be the pole positions for those heat races. Go ahead, Phil.
So if people are done with their claw runs, does that mean I can drop a tiny bit more Rexy lore?
You can. You have 10 seconds.
So it was designed by one of the driver's children, which is really cool again. But like, it's honestly such an iconic car. That's all I had. But
as you're saying that to me, I'm going to shout out Victor Valley. He sent me a Discord message with the car. So thank you, sir. And thanks for hanging out. Victor Valley, one of our friends here at the Automotive Sports Network, as we take a look at the grid for the first heat race, as Alex Abetty, Matt Hartley, Cody Crosgrove, Cody Wienecke, and Vinny Sowers will get ready in this first heat race. And this is going to be a good duel between Hartley and Abetty. Not discounting Crosgrove either, but we remember from Daytona, Hartley, or was it Abetty? Or was it Francois and Clog? My memory is so jumbled.
Okay, Josh. Words are hard, memory's hard. It's all hard.
We're here. It's great. It's great to have everybody here on the Automotive Sports Network, getting ready to go for heat. Oh God, this is one of my favorite things. I look forward to it every day, and you guys might not believe me, but it's true. So we get ready. Wienecke, winner last week overall and in Sportsman. As we get ready, reminding everyone, 1 Joker for the first heat race here in Newton, Iowa. Looks like Wienecke might have jumped just a pinch. Green flag off the line. Hartley got a better jump in the first phase, down to the first corner. Abetty pulled him. Abetty's going to pull the spot. Crosgrove to the inside of Hartley. Hartley avoids side-by-side over the jump for the moment as we begin the first lap. Abetty, Hartley, Crosgrove, Vinny Sowers, and Cody Wienecke. Hartley misses turn 1. Who will Joker on the first opportunity? Crosgrove and Hartley. Hartley does it! Tries to stick it along the outside and be brave. Crosgrove holds the spot. Abetty says, deuces, I'm going to say goodbye and take this spot. And I don't know, Phil, that not being biased, I don't know if Hartley made the right decision. I would have taken the Joker there.
Now, I'm going to agree with you completely, Josh. I think Hartley should have taken the Joker. Going on the outside through such a tight little asphalt section, it's just never going to work, especially in the longer wheelbase car. The Subaru, he almost bumps into Cody Crosgrove into the final corner, Josh. But yeah, he's losing bucket loads of time behind Cody Crosgrove right now. No diss on Cody Crosgrove. He's a perfectly fast driver, but Alex Abetty's in another league to him right now tonight, and if Hartley wants to do anything, he has to Joker, and he has to Joker now.
He thought about it, and he decided at the last second. I don't know if the sim's going to count that as his Joker. I don't think it will.
No, it won't count it as his Joker, but I'm not sure if it counted as a slowdown or not. As Bryan Sawyer said, it didn't. As
Abetty comfortably out front, and Crosgrove holds second. Third is Wienecke. Fourth is Hartley. Fifth is Vinny Sowers. And Alex Abetty, like we mentioned, it cut so much time out. But just by that 1 lap that they alternated the Joker strategy, the gap is already 2.5 seconds from Abetty to Crosgrove. We take a look at Hartley. He does not Joker in the 50. Cody Wienecke has crashed in the chicane of 3 and 4. So our winner from last week, Vinny Sowers Jokers in the 365, put him to the 3rd spot. So Hartley. And now here's a problem, Phil. And again, not discrediting Wienecke. Wienecke seems a little bit off pace back on the Rallycross tracks. Will Hartley be held up? Abetty fastest lap, 36.4.
He kind of has to hope that he can make quick work of Wienecke as Wienecke runs
Wienecke
wide to let him through. But yeah, with Hartley, he dedicated to not jokering. Now he's just got to run this out, I think, Josh, because he's got clean track in front of him. And I said it was a bull ring in the pre-race. You can't really pass outside of the Joker strategy, I feel, Josh. I don't know. You ran the lights race on Sunday, so you'll have a better idea than I do.
I won't spoil anything, but it was very hard to pass. Extremely hard to pass here in Iowa. And that's really the Joker, if you're lucky, and then maybe the final corner, maybe turn 1. It just depends. That whole sector kind of splices together. 2 laps to go for Alex Abetty. He won here in 2022B in his championship season. That was his 2nd win in the championship. So we do have 5 former winners: Julian Shine, Connor Parisi, Jake Robertson, Luke Kraus, Alex Abetty. Jake Robertson, the only repeat winner. So Abetty trying to make that 2 repeat winners. And Hartley yet to Joker still. He's going to pull the Chris Wett strategy here, Phil, and wait till the last lap.
I completely forgot about Julian Shine racing in NASA Rallycross, Josh. Can I just say I appreciate you having your stat book up every week?
Oh, it's great. There was Julian Shine, Daniel Fenoloza, and then one other, Kevin Carlisle.
Yeah,
I think
I think that was the race where a ton of the WCS guys hopped in. 'Cause it was the final round of the season at that point, wasn't it?
It was. We all got smoked by him. It was a great time.
Well, you know.
Speaking of Pro World Championship drivers, if you missed the last couple weeks, we have invited the Pro World Championship drivers back. So NASASimRacing.com if you'd like to join.
Hartley Jokers.
Hartley Jokers. Where does he come out?
Where?
Behind Crosgrove.
Yeah,
wow.
He's just kind of in no man's land.
Checkered
Cody
flag for a Betty.
Outstanding.
At the end of Heat 1, pole position to the tie driver. Crosgrove will transfer. Best of the rest, Hartley in the 50.
I didn't have that on my bingo card.
Good race, Matty. Well done, guys. Well done, Todd. Paddy. Well done, Alex.
Sawyer and Wienecke, rest of that field, and they all go to the semifinal. I think that lap one, that sealed it, Phil. I admire the move side by side, exiting turn 2 into 3, but that was never going to work.
Yeah, but I thought he would be, like, it looked like he was getting kind of held up before Crosgrove took his Joker. I know it wasn't a big sample size, but it looked like he was getting held up, and then I guess when Crosgrove Joker didn't have the pressure on the back of him, he just kind of shot away.
McFarlane, Clog, Wetz, Rateau, and Jake Robichaux, grid 4. Heat number 2. McFarlane and Clog. This is going to be a good race as well. We joke about it. What's going to happen to the KES cars this week? What is going to happen? We had the wheel overheat last week in Bark River. We know how quick McFarlane is. Give me one moment, Phil, as we get ready. Green flag for Heat 2. Off the line, McFarlane gets a better start than Clog in the first phase. Clog deep on the brakes in the 199. Defending champion trying to make the move side by side over the jump. Exiting turn 1 over the jump to begin the first lap. Clog is the inside line. McFarlane contact between them. They are still side by side. This opens the door for Wetz. He can't make anything happen. Jokering on the first lap. McFarlane does. Wetz does not. Robichaux does as well. Rateau does not. And now clear track for McFarlane. Clear track for Clog. This is going to be a juicy Joker merge shortly, Phil.
Yeah, and I think Josh Clog's going to have to Joker next time by. But yeah, I was just going to say before the race started, I didn't realize they were building up to the lights that quickly. I think it's better we don't say anything about the bad luck of Evan McFarlane, because then maybe he won't have it.
That's true. Jake Robichaux off monitor. He has crashed in turn 1.
Speaking of bad luck, that is an unlucky place to get stuck in some tires.
And the man from New Brunswick will have to go to the semifinal. Olivier Rateau, I thought he was going to join him.
Clog
the Frenchman
Jokers.
in the
This is gonna be
63
spicy.
Clog Jokers comes
He's gonna get him.
out,
Maybe
battling
no.
McFarlane. He does
Side
not.
by side.
He will have the run. Will he run the outside? Deep into the brakes is the 199 side by side on the outside. Can't make it stick.
It looked like he was going to hold it, but he had to run it a little bit wide mid-corner because he broke so deep, Josh.
So now, Joker strategy done with these top 2. This is going to be an absolute thriller to watch in a heat race between 2 of the fastest guys in NASA Sim Racing. Wetz is best of the rest right now. Rateau and Robichaux off the track. Car length between them, between McFarlane and Clog. Defending champion Clog in the 199. We don't want to forget that for the man from Maryland versus the man from California, Evan McFarlane. The last lap was a 36.8. Clog obviously was a Joker. He looks to the inside of McFarlane into turn 8.
Almost
Nearly
touched.
contact
That was
between
so
them.
Close. That was like, you could fit a piece of paper maybe between the two. It looks like he's going to be quicker over the jump, looking to the inside, Josh. Not
Last
able to get
lap.
alongside, though.
36.6 to a 36.4. Clog was up by 0.2 of a second on McFarlane. That was fastest lap.
Now, Josh, you've had some seasons where you were the champion the previous season, then you had a bit of bad luck the next season, and things haven't gone to plan. Do you drive more aggressively when that happens? Do you think Josh Clog's driving a little bit more aggressively, knowing his season hasn't panned out how he wanted it to?
I can specifically tell you, like when we were battling, when Cody and myself, when all 3 of us were battling, and one of you guys pipped me to the championship, I said, screw it. I'm just going to drive harder. I know I'm losing the championship. And you grow. These kind of seasons, we had it with a Betty last season. He's back in the championship hunt. You drive faster. You learn more. You don't have the pressure. Once you realize that, oh, I guess I'm not defending, you just drive. You don't worry about any points.
It's not even the pressure either. I think you have a bit of a chip on your shoulder as well at times, because like you know you can perform at the level that it takes to win a championship, and you just haven't done it all season, so that it's a motivational thing.
Absolutely. For me, I just wanted to get the car number 1 back. Clog doesn't run car number 1, and it's the bane of my existence, but you know,
hey, his car has a 1 on it. That's close enough.
Yeah. At the end of the 5th lap, to begin the 6th lap, begin the white flag. 36.6, 37.1. Who has yet to Joker in this heat race. Wetz
Olivier
has not
Rateau
jokered. I
hasn't
think he
jokered
crashed in the
If
71,
I'm
and
reading the Delta
Rateau
right, Rateau might jump clog? That could be-
already jokered
right.
in the 63.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's just a little wonky. Wetzel Joker come nowhere close to the top 2.
But he will jump to 3rd.
That is a good best of the rest. Gives you the best grid spot you can for the
Yeah, that'll be
semifinal.
pole
Final
for
corner.
semifinal B.
Over the jump. Evan McFarland on the outside pole here in Iowa. Transferring his clog. Best of the rest. Wetz in the 71. Wetz, Rateau, Robichaux to the semifinal. McFarland, clog, transfer through out of heat number 2. As just a programming note, we do have NASA Rallycross Lights. Normally would be this Saturday, but a couple of real-world events with Bryan Sawyer. We wish the best for you, my friend. He will not be around to direct that show. We're going to have a double feature, I think. We'll keep you posted. It'll be next Saturday. So this Saturday, no lights action. Our next stream here on the Automotive Sports Network will be next Monday for Supercars in Wild Horse. We get ready for heat number 3. Martel, Angie, Morris, and Robbie Kirtley. 4 cars. And Martel. Him and Angie, this is going to be a good duel, but you have to make sure that you maximize these heat races. We talk about it all the time, gentlemen. Maximize these points.
How much is Angie going to play the team game and try to help Alex Abedi out? How hard will he race Francois Martel for this?
I can't answer that because we were always teammates battling for a championship, so I have no clue. But I would assume that it's pretty hard. At least I would think that that's what would happen. So waiting for Angie in the 7 to get on track. Not sure what's happening. Maybe these are the team games he's talking about. Kind of psyching him out. Making him wonder, when is he going to
It's not just the on-the-track games. You can have the off-track games because you're sitting here and, like, your nerves kind of build up. You feel the heart rate start pumping in your chest. It's just a natural thing. I know I had it a lot. Like, you always get nervy at the start of races.
Green flag. Off the line. Kirtley, what a start in the 0-24 down to the first corner. This is a 3-car heat race, and it's going to be a battle for the transfer between Kirtley and Morris. As what happened with Angie, we'll try and maybe send Cody Erdmann to figure it out, but
he just dropped.
That explains it. Angie drops out of the server at the worst possible time as Morris and Kirtley side by side battling for the transfer spot. They did not joker. Martel's got 6 laps of practice now to try and figure out what he was missing on pace compared to McFarland and to Abedi as he leads at the end of the first lap.
Well, that is such a shame for Steve Angie because we've been seeing a lot of hardware issues recently. And I know earlier this season we had a lot of dropouts. I want to say it was a Hell. I might be wrong there, Josh, but it was somewhere earlier this season. But on the bright side, we're going to have an interesting battle for this transfer spot between Matt Morris and Robbie Kirtley. 2 drivers I wouldn't have pegged to
Joker, and
transfer.
he clips the wall in the 0-24. Clip the left side tires on the grass, and as soon as you do that, over and done. And I joked with Matthew Morris when my friend and I met him for karting on his birthday weekend. I said, "You haven't made a feature." He said, "Yeah, I have." I said, "That was only Lime Rock." He made one this season, and it looks like if everything goes to plan, he's going to make his second one this season. Angie's on track in the 7, but half a race behind here, Phil.
Did I just commentator's curse a transfer battle? Because right when I mentioned it, there was a crash. I didn't know that. I didn't know the commentator's curse extended to that, Josh.
It extends to anything, Phil. Cross flags, halfway home. For those of you that don't understand the NASCAR terminology, we are halfway through heat number 3. Thanks for joining us on the Automotive Sports Network. We ride on board Francois Martel. Want to give a shout out to Trevor Teal in our chat. I'm not sure if you're still here, my friend. I saw your message at the top of there, so thanks for hanging out with us as halfway through this 3rd heat race. Martel leads ahead of Matthew Morris in the 24. Kirtley after crashing in the 0-24, but Morris yet to joker. And the most, for lack of a word, the most insulting thing that you could do as a guy, when you're ahead of a guy and you haven't jokered and they have, joker right on the last lap. It's happened once or twice to me.
Yeah, it's always rough when you see that happen.
As 36.420 for Martel. Angie, who is off the lead lap after missing the grid, 37.1. What could have been with this heat race, if we had that battle potentially, Matthew Morris 38-1 comfortably in that transfer spot as he has yet to joker in the 24 for Squadra Stunzede. He will joker in the 24. All Kirtley can do is watch as his competitor heads to the joker. And Francois Martel will go over the jump to begin the white flag lap here in Newton, Iowa. 36.508. We joked before we came on air this might not be a super long stream as these races always go fast here in Iowa. And Francois out and away from the rest of the field. Morris sits in second, third Kirtley, fourth is Angie. Not much movement in this heat race, gentlemen, just given the circumstances of Angie's connection issues and then Kirtley's incident. But Francois Martel, 3 bonus points, doesn't change the gap at all. He wins heat number 3 here in Newton, Iowa. As transferring Matthew Morris in the 24. Tell you what, it's going to be a spicy semifinal here shortly as best of the rest, Kirtley and Steve Angie.
Quick looking at some fun little facts here. Martel ran every lap like within the same 2 tenths of a second. So
I'd say that was a pretty productive practice session for Francois then.
Consistency, that's key.
Especially at a track as technical as Iowa, Josh.
As we'll take a look at the grid for heat number 4. Want to give a shout out to Jason Hook, who has just popped into our YouTube chat as welcome mate, supporting your countryman Matt Hartley. Ragster, Rakowski, Grove, Ament on the grid for heat number 4. All 4 cars are here. Another 6 laps here in Iowa. Green flag off the line. Ragster gets a great jump over Ament. Ament beat Rakowski down to the first corner. Grove in the 3rd spot, Rakowski in 4th. Just a reminder, Ament is racing for JC Simsport. His livery's broken, it looks like. Matty Grove and Rakowski looked like that was trailer racing as they were both following each other through the same line on the jump. Jokering is Matty Grove, jokering is Rakowski. Ragster does not. Justin Ament does not in the 6.
I like that call for Matty Grove. I don't know how I feel about it for Jess, though.
It's going to be crucial for Matt, but a detriment to Rakowski.
Yeah, it makes sense for Matt because he's got clean track all in front of him. I mean, Jess kind of has clean track, but like we mentioned it earlier, it's just so hard to overtake here. You have to play your strategy. Like, this is probably the most important track strategically on the calendar, I'd say, Josh. Unless we have Croft back, then it'd be Croft.
I wish Croft was back. As it's going to sound really silly when I say this. Yes, she's got clean track, but she doesn't have clean track because when you have a car in front of you, it doesn't matter if it's a car length away or as far as it away, what's a 1.5 seconds from Grove to Rakowski. That car in your vision, at least to me, it would bother me. I would know that, man, I just followed this guy through the joker. I'm not going to be able to potentially transfer, but anything can happen. Ragster in 3rd, Ament in 4th. I'm going to take a look and see if Ament, as Ragster has not jokered, Ament has not jokered, and Ament is hanging on to the 91 of Ragster here as Grove and Rakowski have jokered. There's damage to the back of Ragster's car in the 91. Not sure what happened there. Ament jokers, passes Rakowski. He's going to be side by side with Matty Grove. Down to the final corner. Sorry, Phil. Deep on the brakes. Ament way deep in the corner and loses it all.
I mean, you have to go for that risk, though. It's so hard to overtake. You have to try it when you have the overlap and you have the speed like you did there.
Halfway home in heat number 4, I would have done the same thing. I might have done the same thing. No spoilers. Rakowski, not sure what was happening there, missed the corner by a mile in the first bit of the chicane. It is so tempting to run deep into that chicane. You just have to feather the throttle, let the car do its thing. And the benefit here to Ragster,
Ament almost loses on the banking. Sorry to cut you off, Josh.
No worries. I caught that, and I couldn't get the words out fast enough. Grove holds the transfer. Rakowski technically in 3rd, as Ament in 3rd. Ragster will have to joker, as he has not in the 91.
He should have a healthy gap over these 3, but it is anyone's game, but you have to bet on Matty Grove winning this out because he has the track position, Josh. I think you have to use the chrome horn if you want to get by him.
As we had 6 votes regarding Steve Angie transferring in the semifinal, and one of you said no. So I'm not sure what the logic is there, but
the one saying no is Steve Angie.
Ragster still hasn't jokered yet. Amet has blown the final corner again, trying so hard to hang with these two as we take the white flag for Matty Grove in the 472. Like we mentioned in the opener, has the chance to lock up the Sportsman Championship this evening if he leaves with 56 points.
And getting into the finals, a massive step towards that as Savian Ragster takes to the Joker, and it looks like, well,
easy.
He's got an easy lead. 4.5 seconds after merging out of the Joker. You can't even see anyone from the rear view camera, Josh.
I think Rakowski's going to be rethinking that strategy move to follow Matty Grove. Final corner, over the jump. Savian Ragster wins heat number 4. Transferring will be Matty Grove. Best of the rest, Rakowski and Justin Ament.
Good race, guys. And Jeff.
Confirmation on those results as we get ready for the semifinal. First semifinal here in Iowa. Matt Hartley, Robbie Kirtley, Vinny Sowers, Steve Angie, Cody Wienecke. And Wienecke's got some work to do. He's the closest car in Sportsman to Matty Grove. And Matt Hartley on the front row, of course, wants to make it through. So it's looking really good for the man from Pennsylvania to potentially lock that championship up early this evening. 5 laps, 5 cars, and 1 car transfers here in the first semifinal in Iowa. Green flag off the line. Angie, great jump. He has nowhere to go into the first corner. Hartley side by side with Kirtley. Vinny Sowers side by side with Angie. Angie powers mid corner, tries to take the spot from Kirtley. And now, as I didn't realize that Angie was in this race, nearly on the outside, I thought nearly contact between him and Kirtley. Will we see a joker in the first lap? Has to joker. That takes the strategy out of it, as Wienecke jokers as well. Kirtley and Sowers do not. And now, if you're Steve Angie, you have to focus and try and get to that 50 car fill.
Yeah, and it's 1 lap shorter than it is in the heats, I'm pretty sure. Josh, I can't really tell, but if memory serves, it's 1 lap shorter. I think Angie should have the pace over Hartley, but track position is king here. It's the biggest track on the calendar where we can say track position is king, Josh.
As Hartley leads Angie, leads Wienecke, who loops at the 903.
That's so easy to do. I've done that so many times.
As Kirtley and Sowers at the back of the field. 2 car lengths. Make it 3. Pulling is Hartley from Angie. Gap is, let's take a look, under a second.
I don't know if Angie has the pace in the right areas of the track as Hartley blows the final corner. I thought that gave an opportunity for a second, but what I was going to say...
Jump! Angie has the run over Hartley.
Looking inside.
3 laps to go, halfway home in this semifinal. Angie knows... Angie knows he has to make something happen. Fastest lap, 36.562. He was a second faster that last lap over Hartley.
You can see the gap close in this middle sector, Josh, but where do you pass in the middle sector at Iowa?
You can't. Inside Angie, Hartley opened the door.
The overlap.
Wrote him an invitation. Hartley defends. Nearly contact between them. Angie looks to the outside. Will he outbreak in the 7 versus the 50 down to turn 8?
Crossover attempt? No, wasn't able to get the car turned in, but he's right there. He's applying so much pressure, Josh.
2 to go. Forget that it's my car. This is a great battle. Hartley leaves the door open. Angie cuts the track. That's going to be over. That's it.
Yep, that's over. Got a little bit too audacious. You saw him dip his right side tires in the grass entering turn 1. Put on so much slip angle. I thought he might have pulled the handbrake for a second, Josh. But yeah, that's going to be all it wrote for this semifinal. And that's a shame for Steve Angie. Because out of his control is Robbie Kirtley's going to come out in second from the Joker, Josh.
The one person that voted no, play the lottery. Because you're apparently going to be a billionaire, as we take the white flag for Matt Hartley and car
has a chance.
Car number 50, white flag.
Half a second.
Gap is half a second for the man from Virginia against the Australian, the 2020 A Series champion Matt Hartley.
He just needs to hope for a mistake from Matt Hartley if he wants to make it into the final, Josh. Just one mistake.
Final lap here in Iowa.
I know that's not what you want to see.
Forget that he's my car. Steve Angie on the outside looking in. Wienecke and Sowers. We're going to have 1 shot for Robbie Kirtley. Will he send it or will he be nice? I think the gap's too big.
Yeah, too far back. He lost a lot in that hairpin, Josh. It looks like you're going to be able to let out a breath as does your driver have I thought he had a slowdown. He was so slow through that final corner, Josh, but Matt Hartley's going to win semifinal A.
9th seed, best of the rest, 11th. Kirtley, 13th. Angie, 15th. Sowers, 17th. Wienecke. Confirmation on that Hartley, the only car transfers out of this semifinal. Best of the rest is Kirtley, as we already get ready for the second semifinal, as Wetz, Rakowski, Olivier Rateau, Justin Ament, and Jake Robichaux. So I just went through this entire race wondering where my other car is. Magnus Okenhaug having some storms in Norway. Best wishes to you, my friend. Hopefully you're staying safe through that bad storm. We get ready for the second semifinal. Green flag off the line. What a start from Wentz! 3 wide, Ament through the middle on Rateau. Rateau deep in the corner, trying to take the spot, and the elder Rateau takes the second spot over Justin Ament. Rakowski sneaks into the picture in the 999 into turn 1 for the first time. Wentz is going to have to do something that he doesn't want to do, Phil, and that's Joker on the first lap, but he doesn't.
He's not going to do it.
Rakowski does the 999. What does Robichaux?
Now, this is where it's worked out for Jess Rakowski. It didn't work out for her in her heat, but she has clean track as long as she can hold off Jake Robichaux in the 69 car.
And we know how I would say hungry Robichaux is after crashing in the heat race and being stuck in the tire barrier. At the end of the first lap, Jess Rakowski leads in the 999 ahead of Robichaux, who blows turn 1. Keep an eye on Wetz in the 71. We know he'll Joker late. Will he potentially steal this away from the Maryland driver?
I hope he doesn't Joker late, Josh. I want him to counter this strategy. I want him to cover it off, but he won't do it, will he?
Oh, you and I both know, and Cody know, he doesn't do that. He jokers at the end of the race and surprises everybody. No joker from 3rd through 5th, Wetz, Ament, and Rateau, as we still have Rakowski and Robichaux up front.
Be interested to see the pace as these lap times fly in the first, normal circuit laps for Rakowski and Robichaux. As Ament's looking down the inside of Wetz.
Ament checks him, sends him wide.
That was a beautiful block pass from Justin Ament.
And I don't think there's no joker, obviously, between those two, so that was a pace on merit, and Ament sneaks into the 3rd spot. Will he joker in the 6th? He will. Exiting the joker. He's disappeared on my monitor. He'll come out behind Rakowski. Rateau jokers as well. Wetz is not.
Still in range. He's still in range to make a move on these final 2 laps, Josh. It's going to be difficult, but I think he might have done our only on-track overtake that wasn't through a joker rotation just there, Josh. I might be wrong on that, though.
Rakowski leads. Ament in 2nd.
Runs it wide.
Rateau, Robichaux, and Wetz yet to joker in the 71. And Ament on the outside looking in right now, trying to join his teammate Matt Hartley. Like we said, Trading Paint's just being weird. He is a JC Simsport car. Not sure. I certainly did not fire him in the last week since we had that race in Bark River. Coming to the white flag, and Jess Rakowski holds the transfer spot ahead of Ament, ahead of Rateau. Wetz has not jokered in the 71 yet. White flag. I interrupted you. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying that Jake Robichaux had a moment. We cut to him as he was in the middle of having a moment.
In the tire barrier. In the 69. 37-1 for Rakowski, fastest of all.
And the gap's almost 2 seconds. It's going to have to be a mistake that gives Justin Ament a chance. But I think
the gap is 13 to get 14. I don't think this is going to work for Wetz. He waited too late. He absolutely waited too late. And Rakowski, that joker's going to benefit her. 1 corner left for the driver from Maryland. After having the mistake in the heat race on strategy, Jess Rakowski out-strategizes, and she will be the 10th seed in Iowa. As best of the rest, Ament, Wetz, Rateau, and Robichaux.
Good race, guys.
As qualifying in Iowa is complete, our 10-car field is set, so we'll be back shortly for the feature.
You're so interesting.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to NordVPN.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Side by side, nearly 3 wide of Matt and Palacio. Front bumper of Betty down to turn 2. Clog takes the lead. Real still has him jokered inside. Clog on McKenna. Contact between them. Romain Rateau has led all evening long, but Schofield to the inside, and he makes it stick. Funny story about Bryan Sawyer. He showed up to the track 5 minutes ago with 0 practice, and each lap increasing in pace for the man from Wisconsin. Mertz deep on the brakes in the 812, clobbering the curve to get by Olivier Rateau.
Quick thought for everybody here. If you are lap traffic,
we welcome you back to round 244 of the championship overall and round 8 of the 28th season of the Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge here in Iowa. With Bryan Sawyer in the production truck, 2-time series champion next to me in the commentary box. He's moved up from the studio, and 5-time series champion Philip Kraus putting his coat on and leaving the commentary box shortly. My name is Josh Mertz. We are live on the Automotive Sports Network. Just a reminder, our series is brought to you by Overwatch Specialty Service. The only thing more unique than your problem is our solution. For more information, visit osscenter.com. Thank you so much once again to Rob Hartland for your continued support. Our coverage tonight also brought to you by NordVPN. For up to 63% off your 2-year plan, visit nordvpn.com/ASNTVUSA. Finally, our cameras for the entire season are provided by TrackCams22.com. And I ask you this on air, Phil, how long do you have? If it's not long, I need a prediction.
Probably about 7 minutes, Josh.
You
I don't
can
know how
leave.
much time is left in warm-up, but I'm going to go about the end of warm-up.
We have 5.5 minutes, so if you have to leave before the feature, that is A-okay. I'll just need a prediction from you.
I'll try and squeak in as much of the feature as I can. I'm scared to make a prediction because usually it ends up in bad luck for the person I predict for, it feels like. Can I make a sportsman prediction instead?
As I thought my computer was crashing, so I at least caught that. Cody, I'll need a prediction from you.
I like what Phil just said. I swear every time
I don't want to give anyone. Yeah, Josh, we don't want to give anyone the bad commentator juju by predicting them to win. What if you put it? You know what you do, Josh? Put it as a poll.
That Bryan, you got it. Bryan's been doing that for the last couple weeks, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's see if anyone wants to type it in chat and see who they predict to win this race tonight here in Iowa. As just a couple programming notes, remember, we do not have a NASA Rallycross Lights stream this Saturday. Got some personal issues with Bryan Sawyer, so we will not have a stream this Saturday. We will have a double feature for Lights next Saturday, but our next stream will be round 9 in Wild Horse to conclude the Area 52 Designs Endurance Cup, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on ASN Live. Myself, Philip Kraus, Cody Erdmann, Bryan Sawyer for that one. Next Thursday, we will have round 3 of the Woven by Toyota NASA Sports Car Challenge. that will be at Circuit of the Americas. Myself, Justin Robish, O'Brien, Sawyer for that. And we do have that, like I said, double feature, Iowa and then Wild Horse for NASA Rallycross Lights next Saturday. If you like what you see, you can join us at nasasimracing.com. We do have Lights Run Sunday. We do that tape delay the following Saturday. We do Supercars on Monday and the GR86 on Thursday. And a reminder, the Pro World Championship drivers on the dirt road license on iRacing are permitted to rejoin NASA Rallycross starting next season. Rough estimate, I think we're starting at the end of September. I'll, of course, get that concrete answer for you guys once we get there. Through warm-up, McFarlane, Martell, Clog, Ragster, Crosgrove. Then it's Grove, Rakowski, Hartley, Abedi, and Morris. So this is it's going to be an interesting race.
Has he not gone out?
Looks like his last lap was a 38-1. Let's see if
that does not seem like, because he was doing 36s in his heat. I don't think that's a representative time for Betty.
As not sure entirely what is happening to our former champion. And McFarlane, Martell, Clog, Ragster, like I said. So sportsman cars, Grove, Rakowski, and Morris. So let's keep an eye on those three. As remember, we won't have live points for sportsmen. I'll be sure to update those relatively quickly as the race goes on. But Matt Grove looking good to lock up at least after next week or the week after. Or there's 2 races left. Words are hard. He's looking good to lock up. Looking good to lock up after Wild Horse is what I'm trying to say. So welcome to NASA Rallycross and ASN, where I barely know how to speak. It's been a long day.
Do we know anything that's going to happen to Wild Horse? He might not lock up anything. I don't think anything.
I guess that's true.
At that track.
Well, so we did
saw
modify
the first round of the endurance. I know, but the endurance tracks with or without that format are. It's a crapshoot.
Especially Wild Horse. The bull, it's less than, it's like 3/4 of a mile, 4 corners. One of them's banked like Daytona. There's whoops. There's giant jumps.
I forget. Was that the off-road track I won and then got penalized?
Yeah, I penalized you because you biffed someone into the wall in the LCQ. Yeah. That's how I got my last supercar podium. Is I penalized you. That I still think that's hilarious. But you know, it is what it is. I'm curious to see. We got a couple minutes left. We talked about last week in Daytona these guys doing test starts. I don't see that many being done. As I say that, I think.
Sorry. I think that's because the start isn't as important. Like, you're all on asphalt. It's more about the line you start in than your actual start.
Expecting to see a car there.
As fastest so far, McFarlane, Martell, Abedi, Clog. As Evan McFarlane, I don't want to say this, right? We joke about commentators' curses.
Oh, that was beautiful. Sorry. That was a beautiful handbrake turn through the hairpin. Josh, I'll let you speak. That was amazing. I just had to say something.
I can tell you I don't pay attention to the internal feed while in warm-up, so that's
Josh,
on me. Wow!
That was amazing.
It was until it wasn't, as Clog nearly made that stick. Evan McFarlane trying to become the 45th different driver in the history of the championship across supercars and lights to win a race. So we'll just have to wait and see. As Ragster, Hartley, Martell, so many different guys. The gap, 3/100ths of a second from McFarlane to Martell.
Before we go to the final, Evan, if you're watching this stream, put a fan on your wheel. I don't want to see it overheat. I want to see you have a clean race. I'm praying for you, buddy.
If it overheats at Iowa, you've got bigger problems. As Phil, I'll say this publicly, just type in chat somewhere if you have to leave so I know that I'm not calling you like an
I
idiot.
did already put a message in the production truck. I don't know if you saw it.
No, I didn't. As we get ready for the Iowa Grand Prix. Our grid, Alex Abedi, Evan McFarlane, Francois Martell, Savian Ragster, Cody Crosgrove, Josh Clog, Matt Morris, Matt Grove, Matt Hartley, and Jess Rakowski. The 3 sportsman cars, 7th, 8th, and 10th. We'll keep an eye on them. And we'll keep an eye, of course, on the championship battle, Francois Martell versus Alex Abedi. And Abedi's in the best possible spot. Thanks for joining us on ASN as we get ready to go green in Iowa. Green flag in Iowa, off the line. Abedi got a terrible start. He was backing up on the grid as the lights went green, deep into the corner. Abedi takes the spot. Martell gets hit, or hits, McFarland, as Clog ping-ponging off of 2 cars. Martell takes the lead at the beginning of the first lap. Abedi in second. McFarland trying to make gap up. 1 car off the road. It's Morris in the 24, who'll joker on the first lap of the race. I think McFarland wanted to, but he was hooked under Crosgrove in the 18. Through the joker was Hartley. Ragster, Rakowski on the regular course brigade. Abedi, McFarland, Clog, Morris, and Grove. At the end of the first lap, Francois Martel doing what he needs to do. Like we always say, he leads as Matt Hartley battling Crosgrove for second.
Yeah, but that was interesting, that contact at turn 1 between Martel and Evan McFarland. And McFarland's down in 7th. It'll be interesting to see if the stewards take a further look into that, Josh, because it was a little bit messy, that start. We saw Abedi go extremely deep into the corner, and then, we got a car in the start-finish line.
1 car around. It's Matt Morris in the 24.
And that changes things for the Sportsman Cup. Sorry, Josh.
Man from Illinois off the road. All good there, Phil. So strategies completed for Martel, for Hartley, and it looks like for Crosgrove. Trying to pull it up internally here. So the top 4 have completed their strategy, put Rakowski at the tail end of that as well. So if you're Ragster, what happened to Abedi? Ragster and Grove did 1 joker. So Abedi is the 1 car that has not taken any jokers. He's got that clear track, so now he's got to utilize that, but he's got pressure from McFarland in the 04.
He's utilizing that fastest track, Josh. Fastest lap for Alex Abedi, but McFarland is right there with him.
We take a look at McFarland in the 04 after being ping-ponged on the start. Clog hanging back in the 199. These guys are in the back of the field. This is 7th, 8th, and 9th as they have not taken a joker yet. Francois Martel 36.4. Put that into perspective. He's right on pace with Abedi. As we look at McFarland battling Abedi in the back of the field, no jokers. Battle for second. Hartley and Crosgrove still battling. Hartley leaves the door open. Crosgrove tries to take the spot.
He's got the tighter line. He's going to send it down the inside here, I think, Josh.
Look at the inside, defending sportsman champion in car number 18. Hartley misses the corner just by a pinch. It's going to compromise his corner exit. I'm keeping an eye on the front of the field. Abedi has taken his first joker. He's come out behind Rakowski, but crucially, he's in front of Ragster.
And he's got more clean track, Josh. I think he saw he was catching Matty Grove. So he took his first joker to put himself on another gap of clean track, because he's got 4.5 seconds ahead of him to Jess Rakowski to work with. What was his last lap time, though, on a clean track? How's he compare to Francois?
12 seconds is the gap from Francois to Alex Abedi, and the gap is growing. Battle for second still raging on. Ragster, Grove, McFarland. Clog does not joker, nor does McFarland, so I think these guys are waiting till the end of the race, Phil, to take their joker laps, and I think Abedi trying to utilize that as well. Gap is 11 seconds. Just trying to keep an eye between Martel and Abedi. Battle for second still raging on. And now we're in that little lull here in Iowa, which it's a little bit different because the joker is such a huge delta. You have a little lull in the race where you're waiting for the pin to drop.
Again.
Hartley defends.
He's pushed Hartley wide. Hartley outbroke himself, seeing the Fiesta in his rear mirror.
Crosgrove's
there, I think. Just about.
Peeks to the inside, riding on board the 18, the man from Canada, trying to make something happen on Hartley. They are dueling for the second spot behind Francois Martel.
Corner. If he didn't have to check up through that final corner, Josh, I think he could have made a move into turn 1.
This is going to get spicy once these jokers begin to unravel. We've got 4 laps to go.
That Fiesta just looks like it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger as the race goes on. I'm not sure if that's the correct characteristic for the Fiesta. I don't remember exactly if it gets better as the race goes on or if it's better at the start of the race, but it looks like it's getting stronger.
Brian Sawyer confirmed to us that it definitely does get stronger as Martel still pulling away 5 seconds from him to Hartley, 5.5 from him to Hartley at the front of the field.
What's the gap from Abedi to Martel?
11 from Martel to Abedi with 1 joker left for the former champion Alex Abedi, the tie driver. Ragster 1 joker left, Grove 1 joker left, and McFarland and Clog have not taken either of their jokers. Remember in NASA rate?
McFarland's gonna have to joker soon. Sorry, Josh, to cut you off there. He's 2 seconds behind Matty Grove, and you definitely don't want to lose time. And we're on lap 8. When did that happen?
These races go super quick. He's got to make something happen. Grove does not joker. McFarland takes his first one. Where will he come out? In the 04, he will come out behind Abedi in the 99. This might be a battle for the podium. They might hit these guys.
Abedi might not be able to catch Martel just because he's going to have to focus a bit more energy in his rearview mirror. But he might have to take his final Joker here because, hello, Jess Rakowski. When were you that close to Alex Abedi?
2 laps to go here in Iowa.
Here
Jokering is Abedi. McFarland's going to wait until the last lap. Where's Abedi versus Martel? No contest.
Don't even see Martel. Well, there he is, but it's a second between the top two. And that means McFarland's going to be another, like, half second back. He's going to need a
Jokers in the
miracle, Alex
472 comes out ahead of McFarland in the contact between Crosgrove and Hartley. It was destined to happen. He pulls out in front of Rakowski. No issue there, no accident. Rakowski and Grove nearly come together for the second consecutive evening. Where is the race leader, Martel? He takes the white flag. One Joker left. McFarland's got a Joker, and he is stuck in traffic, and he takes to the Joker.
I think that's going to cost him a chance at second.
He'll hit the wall. No contest. Clog, no contest either. Coming through the final set of corners, Francois Martel will tie Connor Parisi as he wins in Newton, Iowa, ahead of Alex Abedi. Evan McFarland comes home in third. Ragster, Hartley beating and banging with Clog trying to come home in the 4th spot. As Clog waited till the last couple of laps, he will come home in 5th. 6th is Crosgrove.
Sawyer had damage.
7th, Rakowski, it looks like. Crosgrove 7th, 8th Rakowski, 9th Grove.
Hey, that was all fun, man. Not mad, buddy. That was fun.
And 10th, Matthew Morris.
Cover that, mate. That was great. I wasn't expecting to run up there that so long, but I knew at the end of the Jokers, yeah, it was going to cost me. Anyway, that was fun.
And just confirmation on those unofficial results. So, winning in Sportsman, Jess Rakowski.
Wow.
To get her, let me take a look at the sheet here. As I believe this is her second win this season. I think it's her third overall.
I'm happy with that.
That was a good battle, too, between them. Matt Grove threw it down the inside. And the last final hairpin just couldn't do anything with it.
As I apologize that we didn't bring you in. I didn't expect Phil to be here for the entire feature. We definitely have lost Philip Kraus. He had to go practice for the Lionheart race, his league in the Dallara, I do believe. So, wow. So we're going to pull in our sportsman winner, Jess Rakowski, and we'll pull in our podium overall here in Iowa, as we're just trying to find everybody here in Discord. So give us just a moment. And I'm waiting on McFarland. I don't believe we have him just yet in the 0-4. So we'll bring in Jess Rakowski, winner of Sportsman tonight in Iowa. As I normally, I'd be able to pay attention and I'd be able to ask you a bunch of questions. But it's been so crazy. I can't ask you any questions. All I can ask you is, how was your race?
Well, crazy. But it was pretty good. I felt like my pace was all right. I'm just glad that I was able to keep it consistent. I was keeping an eye on Matt's gap behind me, see if I would have the gap on the Joker, and there was like nothing in it. It was great racing by Matt. I know he took a bit of a dive on the last corner, but like it was the last lap, and it was for the sportsman win. So, like, I can understand the want to at least challenge for it. But, yeah, in the end, I still was able to come away with it, which I'm really happy about. So,
as it looked like that you learned from, lack of a word, I'll call it a mistake in the heat race. I don't remember who you were battling, but you followed through the Joker and had no strategy. You had that opportunity in the semifinal to take your Joker on the first lap. So I guess from someone who just came off the track, how important is it to Joker early and get to clear track?
It really depends on the cars around you. If you have clear track ahead of you and you know you're fast with clear track, then I would say don't Joker. But if you got people in front of you that just in general their pace is a bit slower or about the same as yours, I would say I'd take the Joker, because that would get me some clear track. And that entirely depends on whether it's a Joker that is like a shortcut or a long cut. But yeah, that's pretty much how I would sum up my Joker strategy, is just looking at what's in front of me and making my decision pretty much the corner before.
As I don't have official points, obviously, but I can tell you that you're more than likely pushed to second in the Sportsman Championship behind Matty Grove. Call it unofficial. Before I ask you the last question, because it would be a conflict of interest to Mr. Cody Erdmann asked you, Cody, do you have anything for the Sportsman race winner?
No, just congratulations. And yeah, that was kind of my one main thing was the mistake you had in the heat race. If you kind of learned from that, it seemed like you did. So congratulations, and we'll see you in Wild West.
Yeah. All right. See you guys then.
Before
Can't
I let
wait.
you go, anyone you'd like to thank for the win tonight?
As usual, I'd like to thank my mom. She's very supportive of me. I also would like to thank my friends Ayushi, Diane, Zainab, and yeah. But I yeah. Sorry.
You're all good. As good race tonight. We'll see you next week.
All right. See you guys then.
You know, we didn't even predict anything, Evan, because we said we're going to predict something and we're going to commentators curse him. Cody, this one's yours. I just wanted to mention that as we didn't do any kind of predictions. So, Cody Erdmann, all yours.
Hey there, Evan. So crazy start as you guys kind of all ping ponged off each other. Did that kind of affect your strategy going in to get into the Joker?
Well, honestly, I have no idea what happened last start. I just saw Alex fly across my screen and just having a single. I had no idea where anyone was. So that was crazy. I got some damage from it. But my Joker strategy, honestly, I knew that a lot of people were going to take it on early, and I'd have a lot of clear track if I just stayed out and miss any wrecks. So my strategy was just to hang out for as long as I could and just maybe pick off people if the delta was just right.
So we're gonna force a little forecast here. Do we have something set up for next week with an endurance round to keep the wheel cool?
I have my fan right next to me, so
okay.
hopefully
Hopefully
it's cool.
hopefully that doesn't have because you were so dominant last week and just mechanical failures. So it'll be nice to be able to see with no mechanical issues. Who'd you like to thank to get you on the third step of the podium?
Yeah, I'd like to thank KS Industries, Fluid Logic, True Speed, Malin, my dad, my mom. You know, they've got me into racing, and I appreciate that, and they've helped me a lot. As well as Marlin Sports and Pit Viper, and also, unfortunately, Robbie couldn't be here, but yeah, we were practicing a lot together, and it was fun racing them. Sadly, he couldn't be here, but yeah, I learned a lot practicing with them, and yeah.
Absolutely. Well, looking forward to seeing you in the next endurance round.
As second place man, Alex Zabetti. We'll bring him in. Cody, you got one more, and it's allowing me to unofficially update points. So thank you, sir. Alex Zabetti, Cody Erdmann, all yours.
Hey there, Alex.
Hello.
So kind of similar question I asked Evan. Did the wild start between you three main super fast guys, that kind of affect your strategy getting set behind, or were you kind of planning on taking Jokers later on?
No, the start was really weird. My card started rolling, and I don't know really why. So I got really, what do you say? I couldn't focus, and then everything went down. And when I saw I don't have the lead, and Francois takes a Joker, I try to keep them as long as I can. But in the 9th lap, I had to take it because I got in traffic. Yeah, nothing I could really have done there.
Yeah, I'm guessing you were trying to almost do the opposite of what your title contender was doing with Martel, kind of the Joker strategy.
I couldn't really see where he was in the relatives. I could just guess that he took them all, and I tried to take my last Joker as late as I can. And yeah, that was all I could do.
Sounds good. Who'd you like to thank to get you P2 tonight?
Yeah, Budget's Pizza, Steve Angie, and Sabian Rexter, who got a nice P4. Thanks to those guys. And Sally. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you guys had a really good point set, and I think that should really help you guys in the the team point standings. We'll have to find that out later tonight. But so congratulations on the P2, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
As I'm still trying to fix the point spreadsheet, so I apologize for you having to handle all of them.
I haven't had to speak much tonight, so this is fine.
So we're going to bring in Francois Martel, race winner yet again. Cody Erdmann, all yours.
Hey there, Francois.
Hey, hello. Glad to be back here talking to you guys.
Daz, crazy start there. Everyone bouncing around between you, Evan, and Alex. And then I think you got the lucky end of the stick on that one. So were you kind of grateful to see that all happen, or were you kind of paranoid?
Oh, I was super grateful. Like in my head, I was like making schemes to know when I would joker. Like I was super nervous about having two cars in front of me. Like I was, imagining all sorts of scenarios. But then they say that you cannot win on turn one, but somebody is lying. And like the sea parted. I got lucky. I really hope that I didn't kill anyone. But it's so funny because I talked to Alex and Evan, and they had no idea what happened. They all said some crash happened. So it was just the craziest start. And for the rest of the race, I've been playing like Baldur's Gate for about 8 hours a day, so my eyes are super red. I felt like my driving was super scuffed. So because of the circumstance, I'm happy with what happened. I felt like I drove good even if I couldn't see anything. So remind me not to do that the next time.
Oh, good. For being off the sim that long, I have to give you credit though, because like I made a comment after the heat race, you were like within 2/10 of your entire run. Like it was like 36.3, 36.4, 30, like super consistent. Is this kind of one of your more favorite tracks here in the sim?
I think it's one of those that I practice the most because I couldn't figure out how to be fast before. But yeah, like right now I'm specifically aiming for consistency. Like as you said, I watched Alex's heat, and I noticed that he was like faster than me in qualifying this session, but I had an advantage on pace. So I'm trying to almost like use meditation to like just focus on the tires, what they're doing, and not think about anything else while I'm driving. I think it helped. I'm really focusing on consistency, and I'm happy to hear what happened.
Absolutely. Who would you like to thank to get you another win here tonight?
Well, you guys and TeamWatsonRacing.com to get my setups.
As we will see you next week for our final endurance round. Well
never miss that.
As unofficially, I hope these are right, as I was furiously keying my spreadsheet before while we were doing those interviews. Francois Martel, unofficially, 14 points up on Alex Sabetti going into the final round of the Endurance Cup and the penultimate round of the championship next week in Wild Horse. The Sportsman Cup, Matty Grove has a 28-point lead over Jess Rakowski. We don't want to call it yet, but I feel like if he starts the race, he will win the Sportsman Championship one round early. So we'll wait for that interview next week. The Constructors Championship, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion, and I probably should have called it a while ago with clinching, but officially, Pudgy's Racing has become the 9th different team in the history of the championship to win the Constructors Championship. They joined JC Simsport, Revolution Racing, Last Lap Motorsports, TWR Subi Squad, Aftershock Motorsports, LRL Racing Team, Apex Racing Team, and Fiercely Forward as Constructors Teams Champions. Don't ask me why I call it that. I think it's a World Rally reference that I do in the history of the NASA Rallycross Challenge. And I'll tell you what, Cody, sportsmen and constructors are pretty sealed, but manufacturers, 199 Subaru, 193 for Ford. And that driver's championship, 14 points is the gap with 2 races left. What's your thoughts there?
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy final 2 rounds. honestly, it's been a while since we've seen manufacturers be that tight, I feel like. But yeah, the Alex Obetti and Francois Martel, both of them Class Act drivers. We've seen how good they are. They've shown that they are the top two. If we can get Evan just to find a golden horseshoe or something. The kid is flying, but just the worst luck and it's not barely any of his doing. So,
you know what I think. As I know we're gonna wrap up here shortly. If we go back in time and get off of our rocking chairs, right? We think about when Phil joined NASA Rallycross. Those first couple seasons, we know he's super fast. He always made mistakes. McFarlane making those mistakes. I kind of don't want to call like a championship prediction for next season this early, especially with the pros potentially coming back, but McFarlane's looking good. I mean, he's got the pace. If he can iron out those mistakes, he's going to be dangerous next season for sure. So I'll just get a final thought from you, and then I'll go over all of our fun sponsor plugs and all that, and we will say good evening for this race tonight. So give me your final thought.
Yeah. Great races we always have here in Iowa. Like we were kind of talking about all night, a lot of strategy. So this track takes more of the mental game into it. Yeah, we still have it in most of our rallycross tracks, but this one, like, it's so crucial. You got to make sure you're spot on, as we saw people in the heat races mess it up and not have to go through the semi-feature. So, as we saw, Francois played it perfectly. Got himself another feature win. That's how many we got on him now?
1, 2, 3, 4. That's his 5th. He ties me for the most wins I've had in a season. I had 5 in one season in 17C. The record is 7. Luke Kraus in 21C. Luke Kraus had 7, so he could tie it. And we say this all the time. Who knows? What could have happened if we didn't have that issue in Brands Hatch? That could have been 8. That is insane. 8 wins of 7. It doesn't matter. Francois having a great season. Alex having a great season. I say it every race. Anything can happen. I've been doing this for 11 years. We both know anything can happen. It's always super exciting.
The one thing I brought up to you that I still find funny is that record that I dug up that I don't think ever will be broken because of how tight the field is now.
Which one?
The one that I have like the most polls in a season.
Oh, the most seeding round. Yeah.
Like, we've had a couple people get to 7. I think you had 7 once, and I think like
one of the pros probably did too.
Yeah, I think Kraus had it. Not Phil, Luke Kraus?
Luke Kraus, yeah.
Yeah, I think he had 7 one season. Like, nobody's gotten close since.
It's just a matter of the huge fields and just how tight this field is here in NASA Rallycross. Just a couple programming notes before we say goodnight on the Automotive Sports Network. As our next stream will be next Monday for the Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge, Round 9 in Wild Horse. That'll be the second and final round of the Endurance Cup and the penultimate round of the overall championship. You'll join myself, Philip Kraus, Cody Erdmann, Bryan Sawyer for that one. 9 p.m. Eastern, ASN Live, August 14th. The Woven by Toyota NASA Sports Car Challenge will have the third round of their championship. That'll be Thursday, August 17th, 9 p.m. Eastern on ASN Live. Myself, Bryan Sawyer, Justin Robichaux for that. And a big reminder, we will not have a stream on Saturday on ASN On Demand for the lights race that took place yesterday here in Iowa. We will have a double feature on the 19th of August. It will have Iowa and Wild Horse, probably be 2 separate videos just for the VOD aspect of everything, but it'll be a long night for ASN On Demand for NASA Rallycross lights. So just keep that in mind with your schedules. No lights race this Saturday. Just a reminder, our series is brought to you by Overwatch Specialty Service. The only thing more unique than your problem is our solution. For more information, visit osscenter.com. Thank you so much to Rob Hartland for your continued support of NASA Sim Racing. Our coverage tonight also brought to you by NordVPN. For up to 63% off a 2-year plan, visit nordvpn.com/ASNTVUSA. Thirdly, our cameras for the entire season are provided by TrackCams22.com. And finally, Our intro music was produced by our very own Alex Abetti. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe here on the Automotive Sports Network. And if you'd like to race, all the info is at nasasimracing.com. The checkered flag falls on the evening. From all of us at the Automotive Sports Network, from Philip Kraus, Cody Erdmann, Victor Valley, Justin Robichaux, Jess Rakowski, and Bryan Sawyer, my name is Josh Mertz, as we hope you enjoyed today's coverage of the Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge tonight from Iowa. Congratulations once again to Francois Martel on a 5th win so far this season, and be sure to join us next Monday at Wild Horse. But until then, so long everyone.